Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my second lecture. This is going to be my submission for assignment 3, blurring the boundaries and flipping the classroom. To get started, so summary of the readings. I'm not going to say Rise in popularity of virtual learning tools such as Khan Academy, Wikipedia, and etc. Led to the idea of dedicating class time to interactive activities and learning instead of having lectures just going over content that they'll just do it at the start of class or before class even begins, the night before or something. A flipped classroom consists of an interactive group learning activities in the classroom and individual computer-based instruction outside of it. This expands the curriculum instead of rearranging it, as it allows for more practice inside the classroom instead of dedicating most of the time towards content and then the tail end just having practice shoved at the end of it. Instead, it flips it. If it was like 70% lecture, 30% activity before, it would be flipped, so it would be 70% practice and 30% content, mostly going over what was already covered. And this can work in elementary settings as well, as described in one of the readings where 4th grade students used it, and it was just in an elementary school. My reaction to the readings: using class time for more practice and testing of knowledge suits a more digital age, especially with the rise of AI tools which can help cheat on homework. So assigning students just fill in the blank homeworks or going through their textbooks, they can just use AI for that, and instead of learning anything, it just becomes busy work. Plus, during class, they'll become bored during lecture, so having more active learning is a really good way to keep them engaged. Focus on higher order thinking rather than repeating basic knowledge. So what I said before, focusing more on complex thoughts, critical thinking, different things like that. This maximizes class time and prevents the students from becoming bored. Might be difficult to implement in younger grades depending on SES, the social economic status. So I was saying this because students may not have access to high-speed Wi-Fi at home. They might not have an app device for it if a device calls for using a laptop, and they might only have like a tablet or a phone instead. That'd be something that we as educators would have to adapt to. For the videos, academically unprepared students and minority students may not respond well to online instruction. Students may lack motivation to do lecture before class, and online instruction is about as good as in person. So there are pros and cons towards this flipped learning model. Students may lack motivation. I'm a student speaking from experience. I did lack motivation to do some lecture or some reading before class, and that did bite me in the A double asterisk when I showed up to class and could not engage with the content. Minority students and unprepared students, so that also falls under that category. But aside from that, online instruction is seen about as good as in person, so it becomes a really good alternative or a really good substitute for in-person lecturing, which saves a lot of time, which then can lead to active learning given more time in the classroom once lecture is moved out of class, leading to more teacher-student interaction based on practice rather than reviewing content or going over stuff like that. Flipped classroom styles may benefit different lifestyles as well, such as people who live in like rougher neighborhoods, so they can have more practice inside the classroom rather than having to do homework in a more volatile environment, and can watch videos and lecture on their way to school or on the way back home. And women had more self-discipline, as shown in the one of the videos, when it came to learning outside of class. So different demographics may benefit better than others. Reaction to the videos: digital divide is something that will become more of an issue as education moves closer and closer to being more tech-based. Students being too lazy to prep ahead of classes is a cause for concern, especially given the rise of apathy in the new generation. Pushing learning to go outside of class leads to children spending more time learning independently, and it can impact other learners like kinesthetic learners, reading and visual learners. They should be okay. Auditory learners as well. Active learning given more priority is hugely important, more likely to keep students engaged during class and not end up like this guy over here. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you for watching.
I really want this to be true.
What seems to be troubling?